Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. The Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, the Bible says that before the Antichrist comes on the world scene, there's going to be a falling away. There are two words you see in those passages. One is to depart, the other one is to fall away. Bottom line is, people who once said they was Christians aren't going to be that way no more, because they're going to be following the ideologies and the philosophies and the doctrines of Satan rather than that of God. And I'm going to once again prove this by responding to this video that Matt Dillahunty made about me concerning his Patreon project and the things that he believes about slavery. So without further ado, let's check out what Mr. Dillahunty said about yours truly, and I'll prove my point as the video goes
The Atheist Debates Patreon project presents Slavery and Bad Apologetics.
Normative sense.
Okay, the first thing that I want to address is the title of his
So today I'd like to do something a little bit different for this Patreon project. Since I'm all about debates, and this is all about teaching people how to have debates and do a better job of addressing the arguments as they're presented, I thought I'd engage in a debate of sorts. Whether or not I do this again is going to depend on the sort of feedback this gets. I don't want to get into the mud and start having Twitter wars or YouTube wars or anything else. But there's an individual on YouTube who seems desperate to debate me. And I'm not actually going to be debating this person.
response video to what I did on my channel. He calls it slavery bad apologetics. I guess the first thing that I want to say about that, Matt, is I know you're an atheist. I know you lack a belief in God, or specifically, since we're talking about the God of the Bible, you lack a belief in the God of the Bible. I've never heard you make a positive argument for Christianity, as long as I've been listening to you here on YouTube. But you know what? It doesn't mean I've seen all of your videos, so I don't know if you've ever made any if you've ever made any positive ones. I'm just saying that I personally have never seen them. But since you don't believe that the God of the Bible exists, and because I've never seen you make a positive argument for Christianity, can you do me a favor and explain to me what good apologetics would be? Because if you can't tell me what good apologetics are, how exactly do you determine that something is bad if you don't give us an example of what good apologetics are? Maybe you think good apologetics is what you do in this actual video. No, because you're not defending the faith. I am. So I'm hoping this video, as a matter of fact, I know this video will be good apologetics. I know the other videos I made would be good apologetics. Just do me a favor, Matt, for the remainder of your video, try very hard, very, very, very hard to provide evidence for these claims that you're making, because you're messing up already, starting with the title of your video. The second thing that I want to point out, Matt Dillahunty, is that you said that I seemed desperate to debate you. Matt Dillahunty, when I think of a person being desperate, that person would be willing to compromise and to you know, sell out a little bit just to get you to debate them. Matt Dillahunty, as many times as I talked about you here on YouTube, and I am not referring to the little bit of videos that you saw, I'm referring to the video response I made regarding when I called the Atheist Experience. I'm not talking about some other videos where your name has been mentioned. And we're also going to get to this ego thing and everything later on in this video. But I've never sold out to try to talk to you. I didn't sell out when I called the Atheist Experience. I didn't sell out before you made this video response, and I'm not going to sell out now. So if you're going to say that I'm desperate, you're going to need to articulate to your audience, what do you mean by me being desperate? You have videos on YouTube. I'm responding to them. I challenge you to a debate, and I'm rather aggressive about doing those things. Just saying. I mean, it was you who said.
So today I'd like to do something a little bit different for this Patreon project, since I'm all about debates.
You're all about debate, so let's continue on with this and see how good you do.
But they, over the course of like a week or so, they produced 10 different videos with my name in the title, calling me out. And someone mentioned that this individual, Gman is his name, seems to be viewing debates and this entire discussion about theism versus atheism as if it were a world wrestling match of some sort. I mean, he's, calling me out and, throwing down and you're a coward, or using, sexist taunts, you little sissy, come and debate me type thing. This isn't professionalism. It's not. Anything that I see is conducive to an argument. I'm not just talking about having a big formal debate. I'm talking about engaging with people and having conversations. Now, none of us are going to be perfect, and I'm going to do my best to give some tips, including the tips that I frequently fail at when having these conversations. It's difficult to not get frustrated. It's difficult to not make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes.
You know what, Matt? You're right. Being professional is so important. Being professional is so important, and you are definitely the best example of professionalism here on YouTube. I mean, let's talk about the people that make the atheist experience what the atheist experience is. And it isn't you, it isn't Jeff D, and whoever other that lady is that comes on here sometimes. It isn't her either. It's not even Aaron Ra, who's a guest on your program. It's Christians. It's when we call in. We're your guest. It's like we're coming to your living room and we're talking to you. And you want to know how we're treated when we call your show, Matt Dillahunty?
Shut up! Listen. I'm going to put you on hold. Don't hang up. You're done. We're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. Oh, gosh, please. You're done. Stop. What the hell is your problem that you're calling about? I don't know why you're calling us. Please, shut up. I swear to God, if you just quote one more person instead of actually having a discussion, I'll hang up. We cannot keep having people talk over each other back and forth, or nothing gets said.
Some atheists. I'm sorry?
You talked all the way through that while I had your ass on hold? Fine, you're done. I hung up. You're done. The conversation's over. And so goodbye. And you're done, John.
So, Matt, if you don't mind, can we cut the baloney? You're not professional at all when people call the atheist experience. If we don't agree with you, if we don't appeal to what you're saying, you're done, and that is your calling call on the atheist experience. So can we cut that out, please? And actually get to the actual content, if you don't mind.
When having these conversations, it's difficult to not get frustrated. It's difficult to not make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. But I explained to Gman that he doesn't need to debate me. He has his own voice. He has his own channel. If he thinks I've said something that's wrong, he could simply put up a clip of it, explain in detail why it's wrong. And if he has a different view or he wants to give his take, he can produce a video that gives his take. And I told him, we don't have to actually have a debate. If you put together that video and it's good enough, who knows, I might even respond. Well, the video that he put together, and the topic is slavery. The video wasn't really good enough to warrant a response in the sense that he made good points and those need to be addressed. But it was a good example of the sort of mental gymnastics that some people can go through in order to make excuses for their religious views. So I'm going to go ahead and address his points. and talk a little bit about how to tell when you probably shouldn't engage. We've done a number of interviews with people, and the one common theme that keeps coming up is it's unlikely that you're going to change the mind of the person that you're actually talking to during the course of a single conversation. And that one of the best things to do is to have an audience so that people can see the arguments presented from both sides. Which one of these people is making more sense? Which one of them is being more reasonable, and then trying to make up their own mind after that. In Gman's case, his views are very confused, and I'm not saying this to be mean. I want to point out that I don't think that he represents Orthodox Christianity or any popular version of Christianity. He uses some of the same apologetics, but he also goes quite a bit further.